Command Point now has merch. Link in the description. Warzone Studio was kind enough to send out a couple of their battle mitts for us to review, and I have to say, you guys, I absolutely love them. The mats we received have the kill team layout on them, making it quicker and easier to place objectives and terrain pieces to create a good play experience. The mousepad material the mats are made from is an upgrade from the foldable cardstock boards that you are used to seeing come in kill team boxes. So make sure to check them out, and thank you to Warzone Studio for sponsoring this video.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Command Point. I'm Shane, and I am joined here by Ryan. Ryan, how's it going?
Good.
And today we are going to be talking about the other half of the Termination Kill Team box that just came out, or that is coming out soon. It's not out yet. With the Hernkyn Jaegers. Specifically, we did the Brood Brothers already, which is in another video that's currently out right now. But today, Ryan, we're talking about the second Leagues of Votann kill team to be introduced into our game, and I am very excited about them. I don't know about you.
Yeah, these guys, they look good off the rip.
Yeah,
So
the sculpts are so cool, too. I just want to
yeah,
build these guys. And special shout-outs to our new patrons over at patreon.com/commandpoint. At the Weird Boy tier, special shout-outs here to Daryl Turner, Nat Tuyen Vo Diu, I'm sorry if I butchered that, and Gator. Thank you guys for supporting us. And I'm going to be working on getting some of those TTS bat reps out pretty soon. So stay tuned. Mandrakes are going to be one of them, and there's another secret surprise one that I'm going to be doing soon.
ooh.
So check that out. But Ryan, let's get into the Jaegers because
Yes.
I think this team looks cool.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's going to be hard not to compare them to Hernkyn Salvagers every step of the way, who are kind of like a undercooked team at the moment. So I'm curious to see like how we really feel about this team because I don't want to say they're 0 for 1 with Votann teams because I think that Hernkyn Salvagers have like they capture the vibe very well.
Yeah.
But I think in a power level, like viability stance, they definitely are missing some mark. And I guess let's see if the Jaegers do any better.
Yeah, but before we dive into this team, Shane, I do want to go ahead and thank Games Workshop for providing with us with the Kill Team Termination box for us to review. And releasing alongside this video today, this podcast today, we're going to be having also the Brood Brothers Kill Team review. So make sure you go ahead and check that out after you watch this one.
Yes. So let's get right into it. So the Hernkyn Jaegers, they have 2 archetypes, Infiltration and Seek and Destroy. I don't know how many times we've seen teams with that combination. They're going to have to be amazing at Infiltration, just off the rip, if they're going to take that. But they come with 1 Jaeger Thane, presumably the leader, and 9 Jaeger operatives selected from the following list. So there's the Bladekin, the Bombast, the Gunner, the Iron Break, the Riflekin, the Tracker, and the Basic Warrior. And obviously you can take multiple warriors, but you can't take more than one of any of the other ones. So I count 7 there, which tells me that you're going to have 3 warriors, presumably, if you're taking all the specialists. So worth noting. I know the Mandrakes are like that, where you have like 4 warriors and then you take all the specialists. First things first, Ryan, let's talk about their faction abilities, the kind of the core stuff behind this team. So do you want to go over Dauntless Explorers first?
Yes. So Dauntless Explorers, if you are not using the close quarters rules in the setup operative step, up to 3 friendly Hernkyn Jaeger operatives can be set up with a conceal order wholly within 2 circle of your drop zone, and more than 3 from enemy operatives and your opponent's drop zone. Operatives set up in this manner cannot make shooting attacks or perform the charge action during the first turning point. And then it says here, in ordinary circumstances, this will always be more than 3 from your opponent's drop zone, but some mission maps may differ. For example, Shadow Operation. If you are using the close combat rules at the end of the setup operatives step, in an order of your choice, up to 3 friendly operatives that have a conceal order and are wholly within your drop zone can perform up to 2 different actions from the following for free: normal move, operate hatch, and dash. Operatives that do so cannot make shooting attacks or perform the charge action during the first turning point. So this team at the, I mean, like really kind of like pre-game, sort of like pre-turning point 1, you're getting a bunch of basically like free movement going on. So
Yeah.
pretty cool.
I mean, if they're dwarves that are slow, which I presume they are, that's a pretty big deal. What is it, 3 guys? So
Yes,
3,
three
okay.
friendly operatives.
It's like they have 4 inches extra movement. So the noteworthy thing here that I'm noticing too is that they can't shoot or charge. So these guys
Right.
are just setting up to like grab objectives and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If this team could take recon, that would be pretty great.
Yeah.
But alas, they cannot. So I mean, I also like how they did it with Into the Dark. Um, I think this is the first team whose like faction identity is like forward deploying. Unless I'm blanking.
I mean, I would argue like Vet Guard.
Yeah, that's just like an ability
It's
they
not their
have.
yeah, but it's like it's not Vet Guard's faction identity, but it's, I mean, this basically is it.
Yeah,
Except
yeah.
with them, you get to do it. You get to move 3 with uh, the entire kill team.
And it costs a CP for what it's worth.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, all right. Well, that's kind of cool though. I like it. Um, and then resourceful points here. So keep a pool of resourceful points in the ready operative step of each turning point after the first. Add resourceful points to your pool, determined by the number of friendly Hernkyn Yaegir operatives in the kill zone that aren't within engagement range of an enemy operative. At the end of each turning point, discard the resourceful points in your pool. So if there are 6 or more friendly operatives in the kill zone, not engagement range, you get 2 resourceful points. If there's 3 to 5, you get 1, and if you're basically down and out, you don't get any resourceful points.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. It's like it's like the opposite of like well, I don't know. It
What do you call it? The elite points from
kind
Casterkin,
of.
kind of. Because like in this one, you're just like you're just gaining them, right? You don't start with a pool of like
Yeah,
16 or whatever.
yeah, it doesn't appear that way. And you don't gain them in the first turn either. Well, anyway,
Yeah, it
let me just keep
says
reading what they do.
yeah.
Each time a friendly Hernkyn Jaeger operative that isn't within engagement range of an enemy operative is activated, you can spend one of your resourceful points to do one of the following effects. Add 1 to its APL, pretty good,
That is incredible.
or regain D3 plus 1 lost wound. So probably not going to do that one. But um, it's interesting that you discard them at the end of the turn, so you don't carry them over into the next turn.
Yeah.
Um, maybe there's ways to get more, but interesting. Very, very interesting. It's hard to like say for sure how strong this is without looking at the rest of the team. So how about we go into the leader, Ryan? We'll go to
Sure.
the specialists. And do you want to talk about the Thane?
Yeah, so the Thayan has 4 up save, 9 wounds. They have a bolt revolver, 4 attacks on
And 4 inch.
3s. Oh, yes. Yep. 4-inch movement. So the bolt revolver has 4 attacks hitting on 3s, damage 3, 5, range 6, lethal 5 up. It also has a bolt shotgun. The short range profile is 4 attacks on 2s, damage 4, 4, range 6. Long range profile, which you should probably never use, is 4 attacks on 4s, damage 2, 2. And it is equipped with a plasma knife, 4 attacks on 3s, 3, 5, lethal 5.
Huh.
For Abilities, it has Veteran Adventurer in the Ready Operative step. Uh, of each turning point after the first, if this operative isn't within engagement range of an enemy operative, add 1 resourceful point to your pool. And then it also has Outright Conviction. The first time this operative would be incapacitated during the battle, it is left with 1 wound remaining instead and cannot be incapacitated for the remainder of the action. All remaining attack dice are discarded, including yours if this operative is fighting in combat. What the heck?
Wow. So a lot here, a lot here. At first I looked at the weapons that he has and I was like, oh, it must be like you either take the shotgun or you take the revolver and the knife. And then I looked up and I realized, no, he just has all three. um,
Yeah,
I don't know when you would use. I mean, I guess the revolver. I don't know. The damage breakpoints are pretty different, but the shotgun's pretty dang good in 6-inch range.
mm-hmm.
Plasma knife is just solid. I was gonna say at first, oh, that's how they get a resourceful point on turn one, looking at his veteran adventure roll, but
Then
nope,
it
after the
specifies
first
after
turn.
the first, yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of too bad. Maybe there's something else here, but you'll always be getting at least one while he's alive and not in engagement range after the first turn. Nice.
Yeah.
In all likelihood, you're going to be getting 3 on turn one or on turn two.
Yes.
Cool. And then that outright conviction ability. Oh my god,
Yeah,
that's
not
really good.
not a very tanky model, but definitely hard to kill. Um, just because of that ability. Oh, I'm
Yeah, I
not
mean,
gonna die. I'm actually alive with 1 wound left. Like,
yeah,
yeah,
that's like
that's
horrifying. Like if you're only 2 APL or you don't have a way to like shoot twice or fight twice, I mean, you just like can't deal with him in one activation, which is like a huge tempo problem.
yeah.
Like,
Like you're gonna have to get dedicate at least 2 models to try and kill this guy.
yeah, I mean, because he will just like you. If you're a melee guy, you can't charge and kill him. Like he'll just hit you for 5 probably and then live.
I mean, you can shoot him and then charge and kill him because it says cannot be incapacitated for the remainder of the action
Hmm.
and not the remainder of the activation. So, like if you're a Space Marine or something, you could conceivably shoot, charge and fight, and kill this
Uh-huh.
guy. So, I'm not really sure how strong this is.
I think it's pretty good. I mean, like, how often are
Yeah,
you able to like charge, fight,
you're
shoot
yeah
happens a
you're
lot.
you're dedicating. You have to do this. You can't like shoot him and then go charge and fight and kill another model.
And also,
So
like, I just in general, I think it's rare that you're able to shoot something and then charge and fight it. Like, I think it's more common to charge something, fight it, and then shoot something else.
yes,
Because
very
like it
true.
has to already be a valid target and a charge threat.
Hmm.
Um, so like, I don't know, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's a very strong ability.
Yeah. Do you want to talk
Uh,
about the Bladekin here?
yes. So next up, oh, and for starters, just in general, only differences on the data card here from the salvagers at the moment is that these guys have 4-up saves compared to the salvagers 3-up saves.
Okay.
Um, so we'll see how much that matters. It could matter a lot. Next up, we have the Bladekin, which is a cool name. Same profile, but he has 8 wounds, obviously, because he's not the leader. Um, Now he's got throwing. He's got a ranged attack, a throwing plasma knife. It's 4 shots on threes, 3/5, range 6 inches, lethal 5, limited, which is makes sense because he's throwing his knife. It's not knives, it's knife. He's throwing one knife at you, and it's silent, of course. So decent, not bad. And then he's got the dual plasma knives melee weapon. So 4 attacks on threes, 3/5, lethal 5-up, relentless. So it's just a plasma knife with relentless. And it does hit on threes, which is pretty cool. He's got 2 abilities. Hunter lets him perform the charge action while it has a conceal order. Always nice.
Yeah.
And irrepressible hardiness. If this operative is incapacitated in combat, you can strike with one of your remaining attack dice before it's removed from the kill zone. So we've seen some stuff like this before with the Dozer with Hearthkin
Yeah.
Salvagers, and I think the Blooded Flunzer has this. Um, this is pretty good. It makes him like hard to deal with on an objective for melee teams. Like if you charge him, his odds of killing you is pretty high, unless you're like a Marine or something. Um, I will say, unless there's like extra movement tech, this guy seems to just be relying on a 6-inch charge, and that is really, really bad. I will say from experience playing Hearthstone Salvagers, a 6-inch charge is horrible. It is just anybody can charge you, but you can't charge them necessarily all the time. Um, Fortunately, he's hard to like deal with even when you charge him. So I don't know. Cool model, decent offensive profile. A little afraid still. I'm going to be afraid of this team's movement the whole time we talk about it.
Yeah. Next up here we have the Jaeger Bombast. They are armed with a pair of Rotlock revolvers. So 4 attacks on 3s, damage 3/5. Range is pentagon plus square.
Oh, shapes.
So for those of you following at home, that's 9 inches, 9-inch
9
range.
inches.
Balanced, lethal 5 up.
Oh,
He's
that's good.
he's got his fists. And then he's got Rotlock Negotiation. At the start of the firefight phase, before operatives are activated, this operative can perform a free shoot action.
Oh,
If it has a conceal order, you can change it to engage to do so.
oh my
That
God.
is very
Ooh.
interesting. And then he's also got Brazen Killer. Each time this operative incapacitates an enemy operative, roll 1d6 separately for each other enemy operative visible to and within 2 of that enemy operative. If the result is greater than that other enemy operative's APL, subtract 1 from its APL.
Ooh. This guy's awesome.
Yeah, I really
Uh,
love that Rotlock Negotiation.
yeah,
I
that
almost
is
said like
so good.
stratagem or ploy, but no, it's just an ability. That is so strong, man.
Yeah, I mean, like you can like if you out activate the other team, you can just move dash him. Like say on turn one, this guy forward deployed,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're playing against like Marines. You can like just last activation try and move dash him in range to shoot somebody, and then next turn you shoot them. And if you won initiative, you just activate him and shoot again.
Yeah,
uh, that's really hard to like play around, I think.
yeah.
Uh, Pretty good. And just I just can't get over the 6+3.
It is laughable.
It is really, really dumb. Um, okay. So next up we have a Jaeger gunner, the one gunner, the lone gunner, and there's only one weapon. It is the APM launcher. I don't know what APM stands for. Oh wait, no, it says right there, Adaptive Payload Missile Launcher. Uh, so this weapon has like 3 profiles. So I'll read the top one. There's an armor piercing profile that is 5 shots on 4s, damage 4/5, AP1, and cumbersome. And cumbersome just means you can't move more than 6 inches, and an activation in which you perform the shoot action. Um, the breaching profile, which is 5 shots on 4s, 3/5, blast 2 inches, cumbersome. That's a
Mm,
great blast attack. Oh my god.
yeah.
5 shots, blast 2 inches, 3/5. And then there's the high explosive, which is 5 shots on 4s, 2/4, blast 3 inches. So that's just a grenade launcher with 1 extra attack and blast 3 inches. That's awesome as well. And then he's got the weapon bipod ability. Whenever he makes a shooting attack with the APM launcher, in the roll attack dice step of that shooting attack, if he's not moved during the turning point, you can reroll any or all of your attack dice results of 1 result. Okay, so that kind of makes up for the hitting on 4s. Um, all 3 of those profiles are pretty good. I like them. Um, Note that it says for the bipod rule, if it hasn't moved this turning point, so that implies that you can activate, first action shoot, but then after you'll be able to move.
Yeah.
So you're not like locking yourself into staying still. I like that. Um, and then cumbersome. So yeah, pretty good gunner. You're gonna take him every game, I assume. Oh, and he has fists. 3 attacks on 4s, 2/3.
Yep. Okay, next up we have the Iron Break. The Iron Break is armed with a bolt revolver and a Entrencher. The Entrencher is 3 attacks on 4s, damage 3/4. His Bolt Revolver hits on 4s. For abilities, he's got 2 whole Yu-Gi-Oh cards worth of text on this data card here, so bear with me. You have 5 Minefield, so excuse me, this is Minefield. You have 5 Minefield tokens for the battle. On the reverse side, 3 of them are Hypex Mines, which I guess I'll read the Hypex Mines now. Each time an enemy operative moves or is set up within a circle of one of your reverse side down minefield tokens, as long as no friendly operatives are within circle of that token, interrupt that action and flip the token over. If it's a blank, there's no effect. If it's a Hypex Mine, that enemy operative suffers 3 mortal wounds and roll 1d6. If the result is under the target's save characteristic or invulnerable save, opponent's choice of which, it suffers additional mortal wounds equal to the dice result. In any case, leave the token where it is, and the enemy operative then continues its action. Okay, so you have 3 Hypex Mines and 2 blank tokens. You get 5 tokens total. At the end of the setup operative step, you can set up any number of your minefield tokens reverse side down. Their specifics are not revealed. Each token must be more than circle from objective markers, enemy operatives, and access points, and more than 6 from your opponent's drop zone and your other minefield tokens. Each time this operative is readied, if it's not within engagement range of an enemy operative, you can reset one of your flipped minefield tokens within circle of it. You flip the token back over again. All right, so I'm a little lightheaded after reading all that. So I'm going to try and break this down in the simplest terms possible. So you have 5 mines. 3 of them are your Hypex Mines, and 2 of them have no effect. When you put these down per the restrictions outlined in the minefield ability, your opponent is basically playing a guessing game where if they want to move within 2 of any of those Hypex Mine tokens, they run the risk of the model taking 3 mortals, and then they can suffer more mortals depending upon the roll of a d6 compared to the armor class, whatever. But then the interesting part is if it's not within engagement, each time this operative is readied, if it's not within engagement range of an enemy operative, you can reset one of your flipped minefield tokens within 2 of it. Flip the token back. Okay, so it's not as interesting as I thought. You can reset the minefield token, but the Iron Break itself needs to be within 2 of these Hypex Mine tokens. So you take him to put some like mortal wounds down potentially.
It's just free damage.
Yeah,
I
I love it. Like
allocating these on the board is going to be like kind of hard. I think maybe I'm wrong, but
there's definitely going to be a curve to it.
Well, first of all, I mean, like, yeah, putting them in the right spot is hard, but just the act of like fitting them all on the board, because they have to be more than 2 inches from every objective,
Yep.
more than 6 inches from the enemy deployment zone,
Yep.
and more than 6 inches from any other mines. Like, that's like a lot of 6-inch bubbles. I guess 12-inch bubbles, but like that's gonna be hard to put together. I mean, you want to put it in like choke points and
Yeah.
like in front of objectives that your opponent is trying to get to make it like awkward for them to get there.
Yeah.
I would imagine. I mean, do you even like try to? I guess you put the blanks down in a way, but I mean, it's gonna be very obvious which ones are
You can just
there.
yeah. It is a guessing game, but like at the same time it's like, oh, you have 2 of your 5 tokens set up on your side of the board near your own objectives.
Yeah.
Gee, I wonder which ones are the Hypex
blanks.
Mines and which ones aren't. Yeah, it is interesting. It's a lot of text though.
A lot of text. All right, next up is the Riflekin. So he has the Magna Coil rifle. So this is a sniper. 4 shots on 2s, 3/3, AP1, heavy,
Ooh.
silent, mortal wounds 3. This is, oh my goodness. Is this the best sniper in the game? Just
Yes.
Maybe he doesn't ignore obscurity. I don't think. Well, let's read. He has the weave work cloak. I don't know what that word is. Each time a shooting attack is made against this operative in the roll defense dice step of that shooting attack, before rolling your defense dice, if it's in cover, you can retain an additional die. Oh, this is the Crute special ability. This won't come up very often. But it is there. You basically can make a critical save or 2 normals instead of 1 if you're in cover. But wow, that Magna Coil rifle is brutal. That will
Yeah.
just delete things.
Mm-hmm.
What do we got next, Ryan?
So next up we have the Jaeger Tracker. They are armed with a Sinner Handbow. 4 attacks on 4s, damage 3/5 silent. A throwing hatchet, 4 attacks on 3s, damage 3/5, range 6 limited, silent, and rending. And a hatchet, 4 attacks on 3s, 4/5. For abilities, they have the Pan-Spectral Visor. When determining line of sight for this operative, enemy operatives within 6 of it that aren't ready cannot be obscured and are treated as having an engage order. They also have the Tracker ability. So each time this operative fights in combat or makes a shooting attack against an enemy operative that is within 6 of it, if that enemy operative is not ready, in the roll attack dice step of the combat or shooting attack, you can reroll any or all of your attack dice results of 1 result. This guy,
Pretty good.
I really like how both of the abilities require that your opponent have, or that the enemy model already be activated before you get the benefits from the Pan-Spectral Visor or the Tracker ability, because you are tracking the enemy. He's the tracker.
Yeah, that does make
Yeah.
sense.
I don't know, really. I don't think this guy's like too crazy.
He's just good. He's like solid. He's a good melee operative. Just like and he's got all these cool rules, but you could just look at him as a good melee operative.
Yes, yeah.
The fact that he can just walk up on conceal and throw his throwing hatchet at like anybody he can see, literally like anybody that is within 6 of him, even if he's concealed because it's silent. Same for the handbow. Like
Yeah,
if he's within 6 of you and he can see you, he can shoot you
yeah.
because you're not obscured and you're treated as being engaged. So that's pretty cool. And last, we have the Jaeger Warrior. Let me just make sure. This guy, I think, does have choices to make. Okay, so you can either give him a bolt revolver and plasma knife, or you can give him a shotgun and fists. So just looking at it now, the bolt revolver, I mean, it's the same profile. It's 4 and 4s, 3/5, range 6 inches, and then you have the knife, which is 4 and 4s, 3/5, lethal 5. But the shotgun is 4 and 3s, 4/4,
Yeah.
range 6.
I
So
think the shotty's the way to go.
maybe, I guess the plasma knife is a good melee weapon. Depends on what kind of rerolls this team gets access to. Let's go over. Do we want to do equipment or strategic plays first?
Let's talk equipment.
Okay. So, the plasma knife, bolt revolver, and bolt shotgun are all equipment choices. So, the plasma knife is 2, the revolver is 1, and the shotgun is 3, and it's all taken from the warrior data card. So, that's pretty cool. Like, because you can now flex the team into being like very melee heavy or having like better shooting. Because even the bolt revolver is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's 4 attacks on 4s, but it's 3/5, so it's better than a bolt pistol. I mean, I guess in the sense if it hits on 4s. And the shotgun's great if you take that. And there are a few guys here like you could say the Bladekin. I mean, I guess the Bladekin has a decent shooting profile. But like guys like the Bombast who just have fists, and the Gunner who just have fists, and the Riflekin who just has fists, you can give those guys knives for 6 equipment points, and that's pretty sweet. We have climbing equipment for 1 EP. We all know how good climbing equipment is, and especially for a team that's this slow.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to help out a lot. There are stabilized shells for 1 equipment point, and Ryan, we've got another Yu-Gi-Oh card here.
Yeah, I'll take this one, Shane.
Go for it.
Operative equipped with a bolt shotgun only. In the setup operative step, select a type of ammunition for this operative to have loaded into its bolt shotgun for the battle. Standard shells or stabilized shells. If it has loaded standard shells, it uses either profile of its bolt shotgun as normal. If it has loaded stabilized shells, it can only use the long-range profile of its bolt shotgun, but add 1 to both damage characteristics of that profile and improve its ballistic skill characteristic by 1 for that operative. So it becomes more accurate and it does more damage.
So the
Um,
long range profile
yes.
gains. It goes from 4 attacks on 5, damage 2/2, to 4 attacks on 4 is damage 3/3,
Mm-hmm.
which is uh, fine, I guess. I don't know. It's worse than a bolt gun.
Mm-hmm. And then the operative can also they can perform one action to load their shotgun and change the ammo type. I
Hmm.
think that's cute if you're really into shotguns. Um,
Yeah.
but don't do that in a game. Don't waste AP on reloading your shotgun with a different type of ammo. Just choose the correct ammo type before playing the game. Um,
Honestly, I don't know if you'd ever take this because that long range profile still sucks, even with the stabilized shells.
yeah. So the Firestorm bolt shells are another ammo type for the shotgun. Select a bolt shotgun. That weapon gains the following additional profile for the battle. If a Thane operative is equipped with this equipment, improve the ballistic skill characteristic of the following profile by 1 for that operative. So you get the Firestorm Bolt Shells profile, which is 4 attacks on 3s, damage 2/4. It has range 6 and blast 1.
So my first thought was, oh, Into the Dark, you take it and get lethal 5.
Yeah,
But like
this
thinking
is a
about
this
it,
is kind of a trap, right?
is that worth losing 2 normal damage to get lethal 5, especially when the lethal 5, the crit is the same damage as the normal on the normal profile?
Yeah,
It's 4/4. Um, this seems like something you take into like Gellerpox maybe.
yeah.
At least you don't have to change the like ammo for an APL. You just get it if you need it. Yeah, I don't know. It's okay.
There is the Gravitic Concussion Grenade for 2 EP. This is 4 attacks on 3s, damage 2/4, range 6 blast, indirect, and limited for 2 equipment points if I haven't said that already.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a frag with +1 crit damage.
yep,
And so it's and this team actually doesn't have a grenadier. So I guess you
yes,
do take this a lot.
yeah. And then do you want to talk about the KV Ceramide Undersuit?
Yeah, we have another 1 EP. This team has a lot of 1 equipment point options.
Yeah, everything
One,
except the shotguns and the knives.
yeah, so and a grenade, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Um, so the KV Ceramide Undersuit. Each time a shooting attack is made against this operative, if the ranged weapon has the Blast or Torrent special rule, and the roll defense dice step of that shooting attack, you can re-roll 1 of your defense dice, and this operative is unaffected by the splash critical hit rule. Um, so like I actually think like say you're on Into the Dark and you're playing against like higher tech,
Yeah,
who is going to spam Teslas. That's actually pretty good.
yeah.
That's really good. You get a reroll, and you're just not taking the splash mortals. I don't know how many other teams are like spamming splash weapons. I like that you would take this against. I mean, I also
I mean, just getting like
blast.
one reroll against Blast, like that just sounds good for 1 EP.
Yeah, it's decent. There's not a lot of the thing about this is most blast attacks are like weak in nature, weaker,
Uh huh.
and these guys. I mean, they're not tanky, but 8 wounds, 4 up saves, and there's only 10 of them, so you don't have to stack up if you're playing smart.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm thinking like frag grenades and stuff. Like
Yeah.
you're not really afraid of stuff like that. Granted,
Okay.
there are some things that are good. I don't know. I like it against higher tech off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm. All right. So now, do you want to get into the strategic plays here?
Yeah, let's see what makes this team click because I'm sure there's stuff here. So first strategic ploy we have for 1 CP, hidden engagement. So until the end of the turning point, each time a friendly Hernkyn Jaeger operative makes a shooting attack, and the roll attack dice step of that shooting attack, if it's in cover from the target's line of sight, you can re-roll 1 of your attack dice. Note that your opponent still determines the target's line of sight. Okay. Um, that's like kind of easy, right? That's not that hard. It's interesting because like if you go within 2 inches to break somebody else's cover, um, you're not in cover from them, so you don't get a reroll.
Yeah.
But like, just being within, like, you can kind of counter punch. I mean, this team's slow anyway. They're not going to be like playing super aggressive just because they don't have the threat ranges. But I do like that. I think that's like probably not too hard to accomplish.
Next up here, we have Masterful Blade Work for 1 CP. Until the end of the turning point, each time a friendly operative fights in combat as the active operative or with a conceal order, in the roll attack dice step of that combat, you can reroll one of your attack dice, or with a fights in combat as the active operative or with a conceal order.
So it's like if you're concealed and you get charged,
Mm-hmm.
you'll have a reroll still.
Mm-hmm.
But if you activate and kill something and you're engaged and then somebody charges you, you don't get the reroll. So that's like cool. Again, this is like conditional, but it's not
Yeah.
that hard to do, which I think is a good balance.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we have Tough Survivalists for 1 CP. Until the end of the turning point, the first time each friendly Hernkyn Yaegir operative fights in combat or a shooting attack is made against it, and the result of successful hit step of that combat or shooting attack, you can have the damage inflicted on that friendly operative rounding up from one of your opponent's successful hits. Ooh, that is good.
That is very,
That is
very good.
really good. So this is almost the same as the Star Strider's ploy, where you have the damage, but the Star Strider's ploy has conditionals, like you need to be on an objective or like within 6 of your opponent's drop zone, and that is easy to get. This, there's no condition, you just get it. So just amazing. I mean, that's happening like almost every turn.
Yeah.
Probably not turn 1 because you're not in the line of danger, but like you just use this liberally.
Yeah.
I mean, all three of these plays sound good right now, so I don't know. Maybe you can't afford to do everything all the time, but
That's the one I think to prioritize. But let's go ahead and take a look here at Imposition for 1 CP. Until the end of the turning point, while friendly operatives have a conceal order, they are always treated as having a conceal order, regardless of any other rules, e.g. Vantage Point. Oh my goodness.
oh,
You know me, Shane.
good.
I love stuff like this.
Yeah, you do.
That
I
is a
mean, so
great strap ploy.
yeah, you're going to use that turn 1 if you need it. It's just nice that you have the freedom to deploy a lot safer since your guys are slow, so they don't want to sacrifice like better positioning to be safe. Like Hearthkin, they kind of have to sometimes if they don't want to make something heavy. But these guys can basically sit on a barricade and pop super conceal and then be as close as they need to be to an objective. So really good turn 1. I like that a lot. Next up, we're going to go into the tactical plays. Okay, so I just want to say, by the way, the strat plays 4 for 4 in my eyes.
Yeah.
I like them all.
Yeah.
Stalwart defense, tactical ploy 1 CP. Use this tactical ploy when an enemy operative ends a move within engagement range of a friendly Hernkyn Yaegir operative. Select one other friendly Hernkyn Yaegir operative visible to and within 6 inches of that friendly operative. The selected operative can perform the Overwatch action, but it can only target that enemy operative, and only if it's a valid target. However, ignore all other operatives when selecting a valid target and determining cover. Oh man, you just set your guys up within
Oh,
6 inches of each other. So I guess you have to be engaged in order to do the Overwatch. But like I was gonna say the sniper, but the sniper you can't Overwatch from conceal anyway. So you
yeah.
have to be engaged. So I mean, this isn't as strong as it appears. It is really strong if you can set it up. Yeah, if there was like a thing that let you flip your order before you do it, this would be sick.
Mm-hmm.
But still pretty cool. It's just you have to work to pull it off.
Next up, we have Hardy for 1 CP. Use this tactical play at the start of the roll defense dice step of a shooting attack made against a friendly operative. Change your opponent's retained critical hits to normal hits. Any critical hits they've already resolved are unaffected. For example, a P1.
Yeah, so Hearthkin has this too. Next up, we have Bonds That Bind for 1 CP. Use this tactical ploy when a friendly Jaeger operative is activated. Select one other Jaeger operative visible to within 3 inches that is eligible to be activated. After the first operative's activation ends, you can activate that other friendly operative. Neither operative can be a Bombast operative if its Rotlock negotiation ability is used at the start of the firefight phase. Okay, well, that's fair. But hey, just like a regular old GA2 for 1 CP ploy, those are always good.
Yeah.
Like I know that I think you can like win a game just by like because say turn 2 you win initiative and then you do the thing with the bombast to like flip and shoot a guy and then you
Yeah.
activate a different guy on the other side of the board and do the GA2 ploy and have that first guy go and kill somebody and then the second guy goes and kills somebody and you just like wiped 3 models.
Yeah.
Like I'm describing like the dream turn here, but that is the kind of thing that just wins you a game
Yeah.
off the rip.
Finally, we have no kin left behind for 1 CP. Use this tactical play when a friendly operative is incapacitated. Before that operative is removed from the kill zone, remove your fallen kin token from the kill zone, if any, then place it underneath the operative as close as possible to the center of its base. Each time a friendly operative within 3 of your fallen kin token fights in combat or makes a shooting attack, in the roll attack dice step of that combat or shooting attack, you can retain one of your failed hits as a successful normal hit instead, or retain one of your successful normal hits as a critical hit instead. So you get a
Okay.
bonus for being close towards where one of your models had died before previously.
Yeah, I like it.
I want to like this, but the fact that you have to pay a CP in order to unlock it, this makes me think of what is it? What's the Hearthkin like army wide trait?
Oh, grudge tokens.
Yes, yeah. This is like somewhat similar to the grudge token, except you're losing I mean they don't have grudge tokens, so it's nice to have something like it, but you're spending a CP on this and you have to be close to this token, so you're giving up some freedom of movement if you want to unlock this, plus a thing of CP in this team that already has not the best movement. So I don't really know how often I would be using this one personally.
I like it.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty good. Like if it's say there's already a guy within 3, um, you almost can guarantee you're going to get that value. Anytime a guy gets charged and killed, you can pop it and get pretty easy value because you can countercharge and then
Okay,
get
yeah.
it. Um, so I don't know if you're going to be using it more than once per game, but I do like it
Okay.
as like it can't hurt to have more reliability, especially when a lot of your guys hit on 4s.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I think that I can see myself out of all these ploys. I probably don't use Hardy a lot. Stalwart defense, I don't think I'm going to get the chance to use a lot. I mean, if I can, I will. But the strategic ploys, I want to use them all. Well, okay, I don't want to use end position, but the fact that you have the option to use it is really nice.
Mhm.
On games when you don't have to use it, that's great because you have more CP to work with. Like I want to use tough survivalists turn 2 and 3 for sure. And then it's like, I don't know, do I expect to be fighting? Then I pop Masterful Blade Work. Do I think I'm going to get a lot of shooting off? I'll do hitting engagement. But like Bonds That Bind, I'm looking to use that turn 3 or turn
Mhm.
2.
Mhm.
Um, so I don't know. There's a lot of good plays here. I really like their selections.
Let's go
Uh,
ahead and take a look at their tac ops now, right?
yes.
So I'll start us off with Ruthless Exploration.
Exploitation.
Exploitation, excuse me. If an enemy operative that isn't ready is incapacitated in a subsequent turning point, you score 1 VP. And if you achieve the first condition in another subsequent turning point, you score another VP.
Holy, easy. That's easy.
Man, that tracker is a big fan of taking down guys who are not ready.
I mean, like, what? Oh my God.
Yeah,
Because,
that's
like,
that's like dumb easy actually.
yeah, like, anytime your opponent decides, oh, I'm going to kill something, it's like, oh, well, I'm just giving them a victory point.
Is this the best kill secondary in the game, Shane? I think it is.
Oh my God, it might
Because
be.
there's no your opponent's model just has to activate.
Yeah.
So we're
If they
going,
activate
yeah.
and are engaged and you have guys left,
It's
and
not
you
like
kill them.
route where you have to be within 6 of their drop zone. You don't need to. Your opponent doesn't have to choose a model. You're not headhunting. You don't have to kill a model within the first 2 turns of the game. I think, yeah, I mean, here we go again, taking Seek and Destroy, and we're just pairing better tac ops with already great tac ops.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I think this might be the best kill. What is easier than that? I can't think. I mean,
Nothing. You're just killing models, man. This is it.
the Hearthkin Salvagers one is very good. I think this is better.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's go ahead now and move on to Bonds of Loyalty here.
do we even need to talk about the other two before we even read it?
So true, so true. But we'll come back to it if we want to. But
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
So Bonds of Loyalty, right? What do we got?
I was waiting for you to read it.
Oh, I'll read it. I'll
Yeah.
read it. So reveal this tac op when a friendly Hernkyn Jaeger operative is incapacitated. Already not a fan. Okay, I'll give it I'll give it a fair chance.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If an enemy operative that incapacitated a friendly Hernkyn Jaeger operative is itself incapacitated during the same turning point, you get a victory point. If you achieve the first condition in any subsequent turning point. So like this is like literally the same am I crazy? This is the same thing as the first one, but worse. Any model that killed one of your models and is no longer active is not ready and would therefore be able to be killed with ruthless exploitation.
Mm-hmm.
And the only difference is ruthless exploitation. You can kill anybody that's already gone. It doesn't have to be somebody that killed one of your guys already.
Yep, this is just the
Why would you? I mean, the funny part is it's good, but like it's
it's
just.
wood, but it's just purely worse. Yeah. Yeah.
Imagine if you could take more than one faction tac up. You just take both.
Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
read the third one. Let's go the third one, right?
Okay. Protect Locator Beacon. Reveal this tac op in the target reveal step of the first turning point. Select one objective marker. At the end of the battle, if enemy operatives have never been within circle of that objective marker during the battle, you score 1 VP. And if a friendly Hernkyn Jaeger operative is within 2 of that objective marker and controls it, you score 1 VP. That one's not bad, but once again, Ruthless Exploitation is just so dumb good.
Oh
It's
wait.
like, why would you
So
even risk taking the
you
protect?
you select an objective marker.
Mm-hmm.
You select it. You can
Yeah.
pick the one in your drop zone.
Yeah.
If there is one.
Yeah.
And then you just keep them off it. I mean,
Yeah.
oh my god. So not I mean, I can't even this is such a shame because this is such a good tac op, but I don't think you can ever take it.
No. Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing. If you're playing like Custodes, and there's 4 Custodes,
Mm-hmm.
you don't take Ruthless Exploitation,
Okay,
I
valid.
guess.
Okay, valid.
And I guess you take Protect Locator Beacon and you try to keep the Custodes off of your objectives, which is still probably hard to do.
I mean,
And you reveal at
you're
turn
still gonna
1.
have to kill him, anyways.
Yeah, but
You
like
know?
there's only if there's only 4 of them, then it's like you don't want to have to pass up killing a guy because you want them to be not ready, you know. Yeah, I mean all 3. I mean this is a excellent group of faction tac ops
Yeah,
here.
it's a real shame that
Yeah.
there's only one. Well, I guess there's one or arguably two.
Well, if you could take more than one, there would be arguably 3.
Yes.
So,
Yep.
I mean, are we in agreement here that you just throw infiltration in the trash
Just throw it in the dumpster. What's the point?
and
It's
then you
already
take
the worst of
ruthless?
the archetypes.
Yeah, you take ruthless exploitation and then you go like eliminate guards and rob and ransack or route and something. I don't know. Like
Yeah.
maybe route is harder with this team because they're
Route
so
probably
slow.
would be harder, but only like marginally, because remember you can give these guys +1 APL
Yeah.
with the resourceful tokens. So
Can we go back to the resourceful tokens because I know
yes.
I was a little bummed that you couldn't do it on turn 1. But assuming you don't lose half your team on turn 1,
Okay, that's a safe
right?
assumption.
Assume that. You go into turn 2 with 3 resourceful points, which basically means you have 3 guys that are 3 APL on
Yeah.
a whim.
So
Like Mandrakes, everybody's talking about how OP Mandrakes are.
uh-huh.
Mandrakes need one guy to kill something to get one guy 3 APL.
Mm-hmm.
This is a million times better than that.
Yeah.
This is like what Hearthkin should have been, kind of, because like not in terms of like the design like approach, but like power level wise, you need to make this team so sick to make up for the fact that they have 4-inch movement. Like they need to be awesome in every other way.
Yeah.
And I think this team looks like they accomplished that
Okay.
because this team on a pure, like if you ignore the movement
Yeah.
characteristic, this team looks like bonkers.
Yeah.
And yet, despite that, they still might not be S tier just because they're 4-inch movement.
Right. So I actually want to take this conversation with the resourceful tokens a little bit further. What are those three operatives? Because um, these resourceful points, they're thrown out at the end of the round if you don't use them, right?
Yes, so you
Yeah.
want to use them all.
So what are the three operatives that you're looking at assigning these resourceful points to give them +1 APL?
So you want ideally, so I mean, you can approach it a couple different ways. You can say like, I want a guy to charge onto an objective and kill a guy and then take the objective. It's if it's like loot or something.
Mm-hmm.
You could be very aggressive and top of turn two, activate a guy, use bonds that bind. Like say you activate the Bladekin and use bonds that bind to GA2 with the Thane, and then you use resourceful points to make each of them 3 APL, and then maybe they can both like charge, fight, kill, and
Mm-hmm.
then you just killed like because I actually don't know, is there another team in the game that can GA2 with multiple 3 APL models? Is
I
that
don't think
something
so.
we've
I don't think
is that
that's a
something we've
thing.
ever seen? I don't think we've ever had that. I guess the closest would be the Talons of the Emperor ploy, where you can
I was
GA2 a
just gonna
sister
say, yeah,
and a custody, and that's bonkers
yeah.
because it's like the amount of actions you get is pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I guess in theory, like theoretically, Felgors could do it technically. Like you'd have to have a guy whip a guy that's gone, and then next turn whip a different guy that's within 3 inches of the guy that you whipped last turn before you go with them, and then GA to them. But like that's so hard to set up.
Mm-hmm.
So like nobody's ever done that. This is just you just need them within 3 inches of each other, and you need to have the resourceful points, which you will at the top of the turn. Um, so I mean, I like it. My favorite plays theoretically are obviously you don't do it to Bombast because the Bombast can't do it
Yes.
if he used his cool ability. But like I'm thinking models that have double kill potential, which the nice thing about this team is almost all of
A
them can
lot of
have
them
double
have
kill.
that, yeah.
Like let's go down the line. The Thane obviously does because he's a shotgun and he has the knife and he has the revolver, if that's better. The Bladekin has the throwing knives, which are pretty decent. 4 shots on threes, 3-5, lethal 5-up, silent and stuff. And the dual plasma knives, so good melee, good shooting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the gunner, now hear me out, give him a plasma knife for 2 EP. And as long as he doesn't charge more than 6 inches, which he literally can't anyway, he can charge, kill something with a plasma knife maybe, and then shoot his APM launcher.
Or
The
I mean,
Iron
you can
Break,
shoot, you can do it in reverse.
yeah, yeah.
Just go
I
into
mean,
two
either
different
way,
models, yeah.
yeah. Um, a lot of the time, I only say it that way because a lot of the time you use the movement from the charge to set up another shot that you didn't have.
Okay.
Um, the Iron Break, he's not particularly good at it, but you could just replace his entrencher with a plasma knife again, and the revolver's like okay. The Riflekin, okay, Riflekin, maybe you don't GA2 with the Riflekin unless
Yeah.
he has a shot. I guess you could give him both a knife and a shotgun. um,
Oh, that is cursed. That's actually cursed.
funny. The Tracker is a great GA2 target.
Yeah.
The Warrior can be if you give him. Uh, I guess I mean he already has the revolver knife. You could give him the shotgun, or give him the shotgun and then give him the knife because that's cheaper, I think, than giving him the shotgun. I mean, every single model on this team can be a dual threat if you spend your equipment points right.
Yeah.
So I like that a lot.
Okay.
Um, there's redundancy, which is like fantastic. That's one of the things I like about mandrakes is almost all the models can shoot well and fight well.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, this team is like not fighting as well as mandrakes, even though they are fighting well, and they're much slower than mandrakes, but they do have an extra body. So I don't know. Yeah, this is a good team.
Yeah, solid.
I don't know. Any other thoughts, Ryan?
Um, I think what I want us to end here with, now that we've reviewed both of these teams, the Hernkyn Jaegers and the Brood Brothers, what do you think is the strongest of the two out of this
That's
box?
tough. I
I
think both these
know.
teams are great. I have to lean towards the Brood Brothers. I
Okay.
think that Brood Brothers team just has the potential to be like completely cracked.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that being said, I mean, Jaegers are pretty nasty.
Yeah.
This is maybe one of the strongest boxes. I mean, a Nightmare is a strong box too. So I don't know if this. I think this box is stronger than Nightmare. I'll say that as a whole. Um, Brood Brothers might be S tier just on release. I mean, just historically, shooty hordes are good in this game, and they appear to be a good shooty horde.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then Jaegers appear to be so like some people think Salvagers are like mid tier. I think they're lower than that, but um, let's say they are mid tier, and those people are right. There's no doubt in my mind that Jaegers are a lot better than Salvagers. At the very least, I would say they're probably an A tier team,
Uh-huh.
maybe.
Okay.
I'm curious to see what people do with them.
Yeah.
Like, because their movement is going to suck for like projecting threats after turn one, but on turn one, they can just use the forward deploys to like play the mission really well.
Yeah.
Like, that's one of the biggest problems with Hearthken is they just suck at playing the mission because
Mm-hmm.
they're so slow.
Yeah.
But, you know, you forward deploy a guy 4 inches past the deployment zone, it's like he has an 8-inch move. So,
But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this review of the Harkin Jaeger kill team, guys. Let us know what you think of this team down in the comments below. If you have not already, make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, or you can follow us on whatever podcasting apps you're listening to. But definitely make sure, if you are listening on those apps, to come over to YouTube and hit that subscribe button. If you have not already, but you want to support Command Point, you can go a little bit further and check out the Patreon, like Shane had mentioned earlier in this episode. He's uploading some TTS content there for the $6 and up Weird Boy tier that you can only see there, and those are all competitive level, either prep or TTS tournament games that he's been working on and playing. So, but yes, thank you guys all for watching. Thank you again to Games Workshop for sending us this box for Shane and I to review, and we'll see you all again in the next one.